Jasmine Hyan's family says she suffered from a mental disorder for more than 10 years before she was shot and killed by LA County Sheriff Deputy in Pasadena last year. Inspired by her sister's death, Nancy Yan helped organize a walk calling on law enforcement to better handle people with mental illness.
They need to deal with folks with mental illness differently. They need better training. They need to understand that they cannot approach a mental health crisis situation like they would approach a criminal activity.
Advocates point out there is a large population of people suffering from mental illness, and police will encounter those people.
1 in 4 people will experience a mental illness. That's bigger than AIDS, it's bigger than breast cancer, it's bigger than most of those things. So it's really imperative that law enforcement officers and first responders learn about, how do you intervene if somebody is symptomatic? How do you de-escalate a situation?
Despite years of efforts in LA to better prepare police officers and sheriff deputies to deal with mental illness, the number of people with mental health issues killed by law enforcement has increased by a large margin in the past 5 years. Experts say it's easy for these situations to turn deadly when the person police encounter has a weapon.
And if someone has a gun, they feel like their hands are tied. That moment, whether I have a mental illness or not, doesn't enter into it as much as I have a gun. Part of it is more training for law enforcement, but the other part of it is what can we do for people who have a mental illness.
Recent research shows people suffering from mental illness are almost 5 times more likely to be the victims of murder than the general population. And the belief that mental ill people are dangerous is part of the reason. Nancy Yan says she will continue to advocate for the elimination of that stigma and to push for better training for law enforcement so that they don't react in a way that is tragic for the individuals and the families. Zhao Chen, Los Angeles.